Hello there, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of E&Ftv. Today we have Benedicte, who is the founder of Certain Logics. Benedicte, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me, Tom.
As all the episodes do, we always start with your background, how you discovered revenue management, and of course, what brought you to the role that you're in now, of course, starting your own business. So please do take us through your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually study in France in a business school. I graduated on a Friday, and on a Monday, I left France. For my first job in hospitality. It was an amazing experience in Germany, near Hamburg, in a beautiful area. Then I moved to the US, where I started my role really in sales. I started to interact with revenue management, but it was more, they were my colleagues, and I was just wondering what they were doing more than anything else. Then I moved to London, and I really enjoyed a lovely, lovely career in fantastic company. The first one was at the time Forte with Meridian. Then I moved to Radisson Edwardian, what they were called at the time, and finally with Accor. So I stayed many years, really mainly in sales, where I had really good role, a good career progression, but really, really focusing on sales. And my interaction with revenue management was actually really strong because I was always very interested about what they were doing. And what I found with revenue management is that they were really, really helping me with my sales negotiation. Because what I really liked was the fact they had access to really good data. And I was able to use this data to go to my customers at time of RFP to renegotiate and showing and sharing why we had to increase rates. I was able to show, for example, I remember one case, especially it was a really tricky negotiation with a very large customer in Singapore. And their business was going through the roof. And he actually was starting to cost the hotel really profit. And I actually work really closely with my revenue managers, colleagues in that property. And by really showing the customer that actually by the day of the week and the rate they were paying, the profitability of the hotel was actually in danger, I was able to get the rate increases that I was really looking for. So I always felt that revenue management and sales, there was a very, very big opportunity to work closely together because they had access to data, which was really helpful for my negotiation. Then I left the hospitality and I went to work in distribution, first with an OTA and then for American Express GBT. My role at the time was more partnership-driven, business development, not too close to revenue management. But I jumped into revenue management with both feet when I joined Duetto. So Duetto is a revenue management platform. And my objective was to introduce this technology in 13 markets in Europe. And that's where I really understood really the power of two things. First of all, revenue management and sales working together, and actually marketing as well, working together and really sharing the same data. And I felt by speaking with many prospective customers that it was not the case. In many cases, revenue managers were really working in a silo alongside in a different silo, sales and then marketing and then operation. And I was really surprised to see how everybody was using different data sets and having different KPIs. And I felt it was absolutely incredible how we were trying to reach objectives together with such a messy approach, really. So that was really interesting. And the second thing I really discovered is that there was really an opportunity for revenue managers to have a bigger role. I feel now, and even now it's even more important, that they really need to be leaders in their own organization because they have access to this data, which is the most precious thing, and really showing where the business actually can be improved and developed and so on. they have really an opportunity to take a bigger commercial role in the future. Technology, I think there's still some room for revenue managers to get, I think they have access to a lot of tools, but there's still room to grow and take more technology, because I still see a lot of revenue managers doing manual tasks, which are not necessarily adding a lot of value. And I feel that technology could help them to do that. So they will have more time to do strategy and lead really the commercial strategy within the property. So these are the two things I discovered.
Definitely. And obviously being the founder of your new business. So what obviously brought you to that stage?
Yeah, so I decided that after realizing that there were so many still silos in this industry, I created this company, which is really to help hospitality, technology to work together. Because what I realized is that there are really good technologies around here and around hospitality. And I think they're really trying to take away the manual task from the hospitality, but there's still a lot of room to a gap to fill. And I felt that I could help to introduce new technologies to the hospitality world, and also really help the revenue management and sales to close this silo and work closer together. Because I've experienced it myself in the past, and I know really the power when you start talking to each other and using the data together and having the same objectives. So my company is helping hospitality business to really close and run workshop between sales and revenue management and get to work together.
Fantastic. Well, it's such a current issue at the moment. It's something that's been discussed on many occasions, but obviously, stopping the silo or ending the silos. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, and how do you believe that ending the silo, if you like, is going to help the market develop?
Oh, I think it's non-negotiable. And I really saw companies that are actually starting to make, for example, a technology available to a lot of different departments. If everybody is looking at the same data, it's just magic. I mean, I just remember my days when I used to pop and see my revenue managers' colleagues and ask them for the data. And this data was helping me, as I explained before, in Singapore. They helped me in so many cities where the customers were putting a lot of volume, and the customers were not necessarily understanding that actually sometimes you have to pay more money. I mean, it doesn't make sense to anybody, but it's the reality. And I think that's really helpful. So if the two departments work together, this is really, really an added value for the whole business. And I think there's also the responsibility of a general manager to drive that and encourage that. So having joint meetings, having similar KPIs, looking at the total revenue management is really important. So, and I think this will help sales as well to understand what revenue managers are doing. Sometimes I feel there's a mini war going on between the two. I'm in sales, I'm trying to bring business, but my colleagues from revenue management don't want it because it's too cheap or it's the wrong day of the week or whatever. And I feel if we start explaining to each other what actually business we need, then that's very helpful for sales, and that's probably removing a lot of frustration on the revenue manager side. So there is every interest in working together and reviewing the business together. I was really surprised the first time I discovered a revenue management system, actually how it works and how it's actually impacting the business that the salespeople are doing. And I think revenue managers should be very open about the settings in the revenue management system. And for sales, it would be really incredibly good news to actually now understand what revenue managers are doing and why they're doing it. And I think this will be really a good value for everybody to work together and make it work together. And in current circumstances, there is no other way around. I think the size of a team is probably going to, unfortunately, decrease. And I think we are going to see revenue management maybe taking more sales, maybe a role on the side, and maybe some salespeople are going to be asked to do more revenue management. And this is non-negotiable, that you need to go and learn what your neighbor has been doing for many years. But I think it's only somehow good news, and it's going to improve the skills of everybody and work more strategically.
I couldn't agree more. It's something that, again, has been discussed for some time. But do you think there needs to be almost a structured education piece to, obviously, cross-department, really, revenue management onto sales onto revenue management, marketing, and so on, to obviously give all the teams the overview of what they need? And as you said, even if it's just sitting down with a revenue management system, and just to understand how it works, where the data is, what that actually means, and so on and so forth. Do you think that an education piece is something that would be widely accepted?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I don't think it needs to be accepted. I think it needs to be embraced even more than accepted. Because if I was today working in sales in hospitality, I would really want to know what revenue managers are doing with my business and the restrictions they're putting in place. And actually, I think it's fair to the customers that they actually know what a hotel is doing with the business that this company is trying to place. They need to know, but they need to know, most importantly, why we're doing it, why the hotels are doing it. And I think if we become more transparent about it, we are building the trust with our customers. At the moment, the situation is revenue managers are doing certain things, salespeople don't necessarily know what they're doing, and the customer doesn't have a clue. And I think this is not right. We should be much more open about it, transparent about it, and actually for sales to be able to explain to their customer, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. And why are we doing it? Because we need to invest in our product. And I think these days this is even more crucial because the hotels are going to have cost going up because of what they need to deliver to the customer in terms of hygiene. So I think the customer can understand far more than what we think they can. And this is part of building a partnership with them. So to come back to your question, yes, education needs to take place. It can be maybe a job share. It can be joint meetings together. It can be salespeople just sitting down in front of a revenue management system if the hotel is using it. If not, in front of a spreadsheet and just understand what's going on. And for revenue managers to start to become probably much more sales focused, marketing focused, because that's going to be needed in the next few months for sure. We're happy to do revenue management, but we do need demand, and we may need for revenue managers to put their hands in the sales approach for the time being.
Well, this, as we've said, this looks like the way it might go, just simply due to the teams getting smaller, unfortunately, and obviously cross-department, cross-skill sets. Mm-hmm. It's one of these things. I mean, sticking with the education piece, and I suppose moving more towards the mentoring side, which I am a massive advocate for. Mentoring in our industry is one of the best ways to increase the talent coming in, guiding them, helping them, and obviously developing them. What are your thoughts on mentoring from your experience?
Oh, mentoring is a way of life for me. I've been doing it. I have been a mentor for many years, but I've been a mentee for many years as well. And I think it's really, really important to do both. You never stop learning, but you never stop actually being able to share your experience is crucial. I do remember at the beginning of my career, the few people who were here for me. I'm so grateful for the time they spent and share their expertise with me. It helped me to make some really difficult decisions at the time. So I'm really happy to do the same. And I'm doing it through different organizations. But it's absolutely crucial. And it's even more crucial at the moment because for two things. First of all, unfortunately, a lot of people are going to have to make drastic changes in their professional life, in their career. They may have to change of industry. They may have to go and retrain. I mean, it's going to be a really big change, and it's really hard to do it on your own. And I think if you can get yourself a mentor, someone you really value their feedback, and you know that they've been doing it before, this is so much easier. And it's so much, it's so helpful actually to share ideas and as well to introduce people to your network and see who actually will be the best person to help them. So if anyone contact me, if I'm able to help, I will. If not, I will always try to put them in contact with someone who can do a better job than me. And I've got a few people that I know I can contact almost at any time. And they're always happy to help me and to say, Benedicte, I'm not sure where you're going now, but just to share ideas is fantastic. So mentoring is key. And I would really recommend for everyone to try. And it's very, very rewarding. So I know at the moment, unfortunately, some people have some time, and because maybe their job, they've been furloughed, or I don't know what the situation is. And this is good. This is helping you to get back in control of things when you feel you're helping someone else to through this journey as well. So yes, definitely recommend it.
Completely. One thing I used to think of when I heard mentoring was it was always sort of the young coming through, and then obviously the older sort of generation obviously mentoring them. And what I started to realize was, you know, at this stage in my career, I've definitely got one or two mentors that I do go to on a regular basis. But then I realized the first time I fell into becoming a mentor, it was a very strange scenario because I'd never done it before. And as you said, it was an incredibly rewarding process, and now it's something I'm incredibly passionate about. And as you said, I would definitely recommend it to anybody to get involved with mentoring, but also look to people for, you know, being a mentor to you.
Yeah,
it's sort of something that I wasn't really used to and wasn't really accustomed to, but it's something that I found a tremendous amount of value. So no, mentoring for me is, as I said at the start, I'm a massive advocate of it, and I think it's incredibly important, especially at a time that we find ourselves in now.
Yeah.
You know, this is an opportunity now for you to tell us a bit about what's going on with you, any new projects or services that you're currently offering to any of your clients or to the wider industry.
Yeah, so I mean, the things I'm working on at the moment is really introduce new technology, which I feel are going to be helping the hospitality. So your listeners may actually get a phone call from me at one point and say, hey, what do you think about this? It's all about making us more efficient. So it's all good news. But I've been really thinking of, so I'm really passionate about mentorship. We talked about it. I'm currently mentoring a group of 5 people together as a group, which is a new experience for me, and it's been really good. And I've been thinking how I could help the revenue managers to actually, in these times where they may be asked to do more sales or do more marketing. So what I'm starting is a small group of 10 revenue managers. We're going to meet every Friday morning at 8:30 for 30 minutes, and really just to exchange about what the skills and the knowledge they feel they're going to need in the next few months to get them through this period of time where maybe sales team may not be there or maybe smaller, and how they can support and work on the sales point of view. So the first meeting will be this Friday, and I would really advise, maybe you can help me with that, to promote the first session. And if it works, we may actually extend it and extend the number of groups. I think it will always stay to 10 people to really make sure everybody is comfortable to talk. It will be done virtually, of course, for the time being. And if things work, we will make more groups and probably include marketing and operation. But again, really with the objective to get rid of these silos and start working together. This is.
It sounds like a fantastic initiative. I mean, in you doing that right now, all the viewers that will be watching this, it will be advertised. But of course, guys, if you are interested in a workshop like this, please do go find out about it, go tune into it and see how you can sign up. What I'll do as well is I'll put a link down below if you'd like, Benedicte, and we can obviously try and filter people through to you that way. But as I said, what a brilliant initiative to obviously bring people together. Again, a mentoring sort of scenario there, but also an opportunity for discussion to happen, for ideas to happen, and for people to just discuss what the heck's going on at the moment. Yeah. And obviously like-minded individuals at the same time. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that you're incredibly busy at the moment, obviously just starting a new business, all sorts of things going on, but I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day and joining us today.
Thank you very much, Tom. It's been really a pleasure exchanging with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and please take a look who's on next week's episode now.